Hope you're listening. This is Surrealistic Studio, Surreal News, where the real is surreal. Um, I just want to give a quick analysis of what I thought about the debates last night, the Democratic debates last night. Now, a couple of quick takeaways before I read this article from the Washington Examiner. My first initial thoughts about the debate. Uh, Tulsi started slow. I'll just start with Tulsi. She started off kind of slow. They initially asked her about equal pay for women, and then she totally ignores the question and just goes right into her anti. It was kind of awkward. Like, okay, Tulsi, you just kind of blew that question off, and you went straight in. And then I was like, you know what? She's probably doing this the smart way because they're not going to really give her the shine and the attention that she deserves and that she needs. Um, so she used that time to go into her mode about anti-war, and I was like, okay, I see what you did there, and I appreciate that. All right, so she had that moment, and then to me, like it seems as though she was kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie, she was kind of, you know, making long pauses and speaking kind of slow, and I was kind of worried, like, dang, I hope she really breaks out. Like a lot of times, I was screaming at my phone, like, Tulsi, jump in, interrupt, do something. Like you got to make a splash, you got to make a splash, and she ended up making a splash. She ended up making a big splash, more so than I believe a lot of other commentators even expected. So this is what happened after debates, or during and after. Tulsi Gabbard was the most searched candidate online on Google, the most searched. So that little flare up she had, that back and forth she had with Representative, who was it? Uh, yeah, Representative Tim Ryan in Ohio. That really helped her. And when that happened, oh man, that was so great. That was great, and that was perfect. That was exactly what she needed. That was exactly what she needed. Let me read this article. This is from the Washington Examiner. In a lineup with rich, in a lineup rich with liars and scandals, Tulsi Gabbard was the only 2020 candidate made to answer for her past. Did anybody else notice that as well? That they made it a point to bring up Tulsi's past regarding the hold on, what was I coming? Oh, Stephanie Chateau. I was so worried when Tulsi came in and stole the show last minute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But they brought up. Let me just read the article. I'm gonna read the article. Tulsi Gabbard was made to answer for her past opposition to same-sex marriage on Wednesday during the first 2020 Democratic primary debate. Weird thing is, the Hawaii Congresswoman, get out of here. That's weird, considering the debate lineup featured candidates with far uglier personal histories and some with actual criminal backgrounds. Congresswoman Gabbard, one of the first things you did after launching your campaign was to issue an apology for the LGBTQ community about your past stances and statements on gay rights, said MSNBC Todd. He added, after the Trump administration's rollback of civil rights protections for many in that community, why should voters in that community, or voters that care about this issue in general, trust you now? The Congresswoman responded, let me say that there is no one in our government at any level who has the right to tell any American who they should be allowed to love or who they should be allowed to marry. My record in Congress for over 6 years shows my commitment for fighting for the LGBTQ equality. I serve on the Equality Caucus and recently voted for passage of the Equality Act, she said. Gabbard added, many people in this country can relate to the fact that I grew up in a socially conservative home, held views when I was very young that I no longer hold today. I served with LGBT service members. I served with LGBT service members both in training and deployed range. I know that they would give their life for me. Yeah, they wrote that weird. I know that they would give their life for me, and I would give my life for them. Let's see. There was a smattering of applause, but the MSNBC moderator had no similar interest in dredging up the other candidates' unflattering personal histories. The moderators did not, for example, ask Elizabeth Warren about the years she spent falsely claiming to be a woman of Native American descent Absolutely. That was not brought up. And by the way, they gave Elizabeth Warren way more airtime than they did Tulsi Gabbard. They were just the first question went to her. They went to her. Was it like 5 times in the first half of the debate? 5 times, and overall, she received um, she was third on the list of most talking time. It was Booker number one, and then I believe Beto number two, and then it came Elizabeth Warren. She was very active in the first half of the debate. But let's continue with the article here. Let's see. They did not ask Cory Booker to answer for the time he claims to have groped a female friend or about his apparently fabricated stories about T-Bone. To Hatch Act violation complaints brought against him in 2016 by the Office of Special Counsel, perhaps a relevant topic given current accusations against Kellyanne Conway. Oh, wow. They did not ask Amy Klobuchar about her apparently infamous anger management issues, or the history about her forcing a female staffer to dry shave her leg under a table, which was used as a joke in the comedy show Veep. What the hell is that all about? They did not ask New York Mayor Bill de Blasio about his city's crumbling infrastructure or all the money that has gone wasted or missing from programs headed by the mayor and his wife, or the fact that President Trump is more popular in New York City than he is. Ouch. Ouch, Washington Examiner. Ouch. Todd did not even ask Beto O'Rourke about the time he drunkenly caused a car wreck and then tried to flee from the scene of the accident, only to lie about it later in a debate in a U.S. Senate race. Wow. Gabbard's sister, Brenda, if I'm saying that correctly, accused MSNBC Wednesday of being in the tank for Elizabeth Warren. And she said that before the debate moderator singled out her sister. And she said that before the debate moderator singled out her sister as the only candidate forced to answer for her past. Absolutely correct. And that, excuse me, I'm still getting over the sickness. But I thought that was very interesting. Continue going after Tulsi Gabbard. And yeah, I thought that was pretty fucked up that they did that to her, but they didn't do it to anybody else. You know, so it's clearly intentional on that part. All the time that they give to Elizabeth Warren, clearly intentional. And you know, I was a tad disappointed. I was really hoping Tulsi would be more aggressive and that she would take, you know, more of an offensive tactic regarding these debates, because she knows as well as anybody else that they are censoring her or they're smearing her. You know what I'm saying? So she has to really come out. But like I said, that exchange that she had with Tim Ryan really helped her out. So I want to read another article here. It's probably a short one. About her being the most searched candidate. And the first time I seen this news was on Fox. Fox reported this. Let's see. Fox News. Let's just go to Fox News. Fuck it. Interesting. So I'm hyped and I'm amped to see Tulsi's poll numbers now and see where she stands. Gabbard was the most searched Democratic candidate after debate, despite getting third lowest speaking time. The third lowest speaking time. Representative Tulsi Gabbard, a relative unknown mired at the bottom of the crowded Democratic 2020 presidential field, was the most searched candidate on Google by the time Wednesday's debate ended, making the Hawaii lawmaker and military veteran one of the night's biggest winners. Let's see. Google Trends data show prior to the debate, Gabbard was the most searched only in her home state, while Senator Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat in Massachusetts, dominated the country's internet browsers. That changed when the debate was over, with Gabbard being the most searched candidate on Google in most states, with Senator Cory Booker, a Democrat of New Jersey, in a distant second. Gabbard, an Army National Guard veteran who served in Iraq, grabbed the attention of the viewers every time she spoke about foreign policy and the military. Yes, that is where she shined. That is exactly where she shined. Gabbard's military experience gave her authority in harsh exchange with Ohio Rep. Tim Ryan, who said that the U.S. must maintain focus in Afghanistan to ensure the Taliban is kept in check. Boo. When we weren't in there, they started flying planes into our buildings, Ryan said. The Taliban didn't attack us on 9/11. Al-Qaeda attacked us on 9/11, Gabbard replied. Yeah, she actually mentioned that in the very beginning when she started speaking. She mentioned that it was Al-Qaeda. It's funny that he forgot it that quickly. The data shows the moment which generated the most traffic search. I'm sorry. The data shows the moment which generated the most search traffic for Gabbard was when she was making her closing argument. Awesome. When she was making her closing argument, that was when it was at its peak. Let's see. Meghan McCain calls Tulsi Gabbard the most composed and authentic in the first damn debate. That happened. Meghan McCain tweeted, and I believe later deleted the tweet. Props for Tulsi Gabbard. Props for Tulsi Gabbard. Can you believe that? That happened. The Hawaii Congresswoman's performance at a debate was praised by even some unlikely media figures, including Meghan McCain, a co-host of The View, who said she was the most composed and authentic. Tulsi and I literally, this is a quote, Tulsi and I literally couldn't disagree on more, and she fundraised off my name for calling her out on her relationship with Assad. But so far, she's come across as the most composed and authentic, McCain wrote. Gabbard's success came despite receiving the third lowest amount of speaking time with a total of just 6.6 minutes. 6.6 minutes, according to the Washington Post. Warren got the third highest amount of speaking time with 9.3 minutes, outpaced by Booker with 10.9 minutes and former Representative Beto O'Rourke with 10.3 minutes. And let me just sidebar here, that whole pandering shit with Booker and Beto, double thumbs down on that. Come on, man, just stop. You guys are horrible. Just enough with the pandering. Just cut it out. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very impressed with Julian Castro. I was very impressed with Julian Castro. He came across very authentic. He came across very knowledgeable, and the crowd seemed to give him a lot of love, especially when they mentioned that he was the only Latino running. The crowd ate it up. Yeah, the crowd ate it up. Stephanie Chateau, yeah, he was pretty good. I was so excited when watching the stats start climbing. Yep, I think he was my fourth place. Yeah. Julian Castro did very well. Booker even sounded good on certain issues, you know. So Booker sounded good, Castro sounded good, even better. I like the fact that Castro racial injustice. He brought up Tamir Rice and Eric Garner, you know what I'm saying? So that's very important to bring up, you know, especially when you need black voters, you know. So I'm very impressed that he brought it up. I'm glad he did. Even Bill de Blasio, Mayor Bill de Blasio, New York, he actually impressed me with a lot of shit that he said, and then he had to go ahead and bring up so he fucked it up for me. He totally fucked it up for me with that one. But Amy Cloud Bouchard, she was boring, and she, you know, she said she's not a that she just has respect, but I mean, I'm just not gonna vote for a centrist. That's just not gonna happen. Elizabeth Warren, Elizabeth Warren had a good night. She had a good night. She sounded good. She looked good, and she was the most. I think she was the most well spoken. You know, she came across very confident, and the crowd ate that up as well. So I got to give props to Elizabeth Warren. She sounded very good. So let me just continue with this article here, because we're going to get back to Tulsi real quick. Gabbard's sister, Vrindavan Gabbard, tweeted mid-debate about the discrepancy, slamming MSNBC for favoring Warren. Yeah, we read about that already. It's clear who MSNBC wants to be president, Elizabeth Warren. They're giving her more time than all the other candidates combined. They aren't giving Tulsi at all, the sister tweeted from the official Gabbard's account. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. And I think somebody called it out that they would put Elizabeth Warren like somewhere in the middle, and they ended up doing that. And they maintained their primary focus on her. Another thing, I was really hoping Tulsi Gabbard I was hoping that she interjected when they were talking about foreign policy, and even when they were talking about climate change, because Tulsi Gabbard has the OFF Act, the Off Fossil Fuels Act. So I was really like, Tulsi, get in there. And I think sometimes she was trying to get in there, and I think Rachel Maddow was cutting her off. But again, you got to be aggressive. You know what they're doing. You know they don't want to hear the message. You know they don't want the message to get out. So you got to be aggressive. Let's just finish up this article here. Gabbard is a four-term congresswoman whose opposition to foreign wars is the central theme for her political campaign. She served in combat zones in between 2004 and 2005, and she was later deployed to Kuwait. Her campaign has been hovering between 3 and 1%, though she's enjoying the support from more progressive anti-war Democrats. She's been criticized over her past anti-LGBT rhetoric she made when she worked for an anti-gay group years ago. She has since condemned the comments and said they were wrong and hurtful, and claimed my views have changed significantly since then. She also continues to face criticism from foreign policy hawks over her meeting with Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad 2 years ago while on a fact-finding mission to Syria. Okay. So again, that was Fox News, and they're not the only ones reporting this. Tulsi Gabbard is doing pretty well. That little exchange she had with Tim Ryan really helped her out, and I'm glad that she was the most searched candidate, because now that really gives her an opportunity to reach a lot more people. So, let's see here. And about the whole LGBTQ thing, I know a lot of people may feel as though that, that's that she made comments that were egregious or whatever, and this is what I think about that. And I've said it before. Gabbard shows evolution, and to me, that means a lot more than somebody who's always believed a certain way. They've always found themselves on the right side, what I'm saying, because, maybe that's how they're raised. So it's easier for them to just be on the right side. I'm not saying, there's different sides to this, but my point is that she actually was on the wrong side because her family was on the wrong side, and she grew out of it. She evolved from it. And that shows that she can be evolved. I mean, she can evolve, and she will evolve, and she has. She's proven it. She went from, conservative to one of the most progressive candidates we have on stage. And I appreciate that. And that means the world to me. That means that she can also evolve on other issues that people may have. So in conclusion, I'm going to wrap it up here because I got to get on the road. I was worried for Tulsi at first, but she ended up doing pretty well, especially towards the second half of the debate. I was thoroughly impressed with Julian Castro. I was impressed by how well Elizabeth Warren spoke and how well she came across to the audience. So I'm interested to see how that plays. I really didn't get to see the Tulsi versus Elizabeth Warren thing. It was pretty much it was pretty civil. Not saying the debate should be uncivil. I'm just saying that they should be a little more aggressive, especially when you're trying to, this is a candidacy for president. You got to win over voters, and you have to somehow prove that you're more progressive than all of these other people that claim that they're progressive. So I was really hoping that she would be more aggressive, and towards the second half, she started to be, and that really helped her out. She made a fool out of Tim Ryan. He's probably done. Not to say that he didn't say some good things. I like what he said about gun violence. He said that we have to address the issues that cause these people to go into schools and shoot people. A lot of times these kids are bullied. Not making excuses for them. I'm just saying that we need to understand why they're doing what they're doing, because we live in a country with guns, and that's probably never going to go away. So we have to address what's causing people to do these kind of things. And he said they need, mental health professionals on standby. And I believe that too. Like, we really have to address these issues. Yeah. So I was impressed by that. Beto, like I said, the pandering shit was whack. Booker with the pandering was whack. Your Spanish is horrible. I'm impressed by Bill de Blasio. Jay Inslee, he's he has some good things to say, but some stuff I was like, nah, I'm not really feeling that. John Delaney, who? Yeah, and that's all I'm gonna say for now. This is just a quick analysis. I'm obviously rushing. I got to get to work now, but you guys have a great day. I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you for joining me this morning, and love, peace, and chicken grease. I'll talk to you guys later. Let me see here. see. Cloud did not impress me at all. Stephanie Chateau. Yeah, she was less than impressive. She was boring. I feel like I feel like she wasted everybody's time just by her talking. you know, one thing I did like though before I leave, she did give a shout out to the three women that were on stage, and she included to the three women on stage that know a little something about women's reproductive rights, in regards to that. So that was pretty cool. I was glad that she kind of gave a little shout out. But other than that, yeah, whatever. I'm ready for all these people most of these people to go already. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear more from Julian Castro. I want to hear more um, from Tulsi Gabbard, obviously. But I want to hear more from Elizabeth Warren and maybe even Bill de Blasio, because it seems like he has some very good ideas, and he implemented some of those ideas already in his home state. So, all right. Until next time, you guys, be good. Matter of fact, be great. I'm out.